Shut up and sit down.
Hey folks, Brad here for Wheeze and Geezer TV. Wheeze and Geezer TV is brought to you by nobody. That's right, we don't have any sponsors. Sure could use some subscribers. Maybe that's where you come in. Now, today's video, I want everybody out there to enjoy it. But more than anybody, my family. Because today, we're going to Grandma's. I'll tell you a little bit about this. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. And it's made by Asobo Studios, which is a French group, and I believe Bordeaux, but don't quote me on that. They've never been here. They've never been to every place in the world, but they've recreated the entire world. And it's seamless. I can fly anywhere in the world, and I will never encounter a loading screen of any kind. Okay, I can fly from here to France, and I have a button that I can push on here that'll refuel me. So if it's going to take 18 hours to get there, it'll take us 18 hours to get there, or whatever. But let's say I was going to go from here to Seattle, and we were going to fly along I-90, and you've taken that route many times on the road or whatever. You will recognize so many buildings and things along the way, and that's what I want to show my family. Is because we've all been going out to Grandma's for like over 50 years. And we all go pretty much the exact same way. And what you're going to see is very well, considering it's the buildings and all that kind of stuff is made by a computer. They have a computer algorithm that's recreating buildings and stuff. You're going to be surprised how well it's done. And that I can fly anywhere in the world. If you've been someplace and you thought it was beautiful, we can go there. It'll look pretty much the same. So, the buildings you see will not be the actual buildings. They're not going to be like, but they are the same size, in the exact same place, facing the same exact direction. And in many cases, the correct color. And it represents that house or building or whatever. So sometimes you might see a garage, but it looks like a small white house or something. It's a garage. You can tell you got a big house here, and you got this little white thing next to you. You go, okay, I recognize that as the garage we pass all the time. It'll be that kind of an effect. But I just want to take you on this journey. Now we're going to start out in Phelps Field because I'd like to start out at Spokane International, but it's such a long flight from there to get turned around and come down I-90 to show you like the falls and stuff in Spokane. I'll do that in another video. This is strictly, we're going to Grandma's. Okay, there's already somebody here at Phelps Field. And as far as where we're going, I need to find Grandma's. Okay. Oh, come on, don't start scrolling on me like that. Now, sometimes I might have to change the time of day in order to get a good look. See, like, I don't know what time it is here. 8:30 in the morning. Let's get a little brighter. Now, I can also set it for live. It would be live weather here in Spokane. Live time. I can set all that. I can set it so that the air traffic, it is set right now for the air traffic to be live. So, if there's stuff coming into Spokane International. Now, between Reardon and Spokane here, up in here, there's going to be 3 lakes. Okay, this is Horseshoe Lake here. This is Woods Lake here. And this is Davis Lake over here. We used to know it as Cox's Swamp. And my grandma, now we don't own this anymore, but it's been in the family since 1880. But we own pretty much from here over to the road here, and then across the road all the way to this other road, and then up here to probably right about here or so, and then come back in underneath Cox's Swamp. Well, it's Davis Lake now. And then all this field here up to here, over to here, down here, around these woods here, and around the backside of the lake again. That was Grandma's place. If I zoom in, you can see it here. This is the road where you come in. This is the driveway. There's actually another one comes through here, but the trees probably blocked it, so it doesn't really show it. Great Grandma's house. This is the, I believe that's the garage. This is, I think that is a chicken coop or whatever. I can't zoom in anymore. This is Grandma's house, and in the back of it, when we go there, you'll see the Delco house in the back. This is the barn here, the main barn. This is the hay barn. Now, the hay barn's gonna have walls on it because this game doesn't recognize pole buildings when it builds buildings. It makes it like a structure, like a house. So it'll have yellow walls because probably had hay in it. Over here is Grandpa's shop as you go down the hill here. Grandpa's shop and that little building on the side there that he had a bunch of stuff in storage. This is the little seed shed down there. This is the vehicle shed where like the motorhome used to be and stuff, and on the side they had a big gas tanks, diesel tanks here, whatever. And of course then there's all the paths all around the place that go down to the lake. And for people that are, you know, friends of mine on YouTube and stuff, yeah, they own this lake. Private lake, no buildings on it or nothing. But so that's going to be our arrival spot, because I don't really think that I need to bring you all the way back. I mean, the whole idea is just take you to Grandma's. But on the way back, I would have showed you things like Shadle Center. On the way back, I usually fly by Northtown Mall because it even shows the ramp that goes up into the parkade. But all the other stuff doesn't really matter. I'll do that if I do a Spokane video. So let's just head on out. I'm going to remove myself from the video so that you get to see more of the scenery. But I really want my family to enjoy it for what it is, because you never thought you would see something like this in a video game. This is ridiculous. And I can fly anywhere in the world that you've been, and you'll recognize the land.
Tower Whiskey Hotel Echo Echo Zulu at runway 22 right, ready for departure to the west.
Whiskey Hotel Echo Echo Zulu altimeter 29.9, 2-1 west departure approved.
Yeah, I changed my
Takeoff runway 22 right.
This is what we're going to be flying in. I usually fly a lot bigger planes.
Takeoff runway 22 right, Echo Echo Zulu.
And my call sign is Whiskey Hotel Echo Echo Zulu for the I'm Wheeze. But I usually don't fly ultralights like this. I do. The only time I actually fly ultralights besides this, see, that's Beacon Hill there. You'll recognize that. Is when I fly down whatever the main street is in Vegas, looking at all the lights and stuff. I'll fly an ultralight down there. It's pretty cool. I'll do that as a video eventually. Right now they're lining up on 22, I believe it is. Probably 22 left. Oh, or 22 right. Okay. I'm just going to let you see the animation so you can see this beautiful aircraft that we're flying in. Now the reason I'm flying in this is because it allows me to go slow and low, kind of along the path of the road rather than having to stay way the heck up in the air because we're just too fast. And it's also got good visibility. So of all of the slower planes that I have, it had the best visibility. So let me get down in here and on my pad. It doesn't really matter. I don't use this to figure out where I'm going. All right. I don't think this has... Yeah, it does have a parking brake, but I don't think it's on, or we wouldn't be moving. This doesn't have any flaps. It does have trim, but we don't have any flaps, no retractable gear, none of that kind of stuff. Beautiful Spokane River there, that's Beacon Hill. That's Fancher Bridge there going across down into the industrial area. I'm going to cross over the train yard area here, or at least onto Trent here. I can pull back on the throttle a little bit. So we're still on Trent. We're coming up where Trent and Mission split. We're going to take Mission down by the college. Now you can kind of recognize the buildings. Of course, they don't have signs on them and stuff. They're not the actual buildings. But they try to do a pretty good job of getting the colors right and that kind of stuff. So this is Spokane Community College. It still has the old fire station on the corner. And I think they still use that tower. I'm not sure. Maybe they destroyed that too in their remodel. Headed up Green Street now. The cool thing is I can actually just pause the flight too as I'm going places or whatever. So let me slow this down. Let's see if I can pause the screen. Because as you see, as we go across Green Street here, I can also still look to the side. You see the Spokane River there. And I don't know what that area is up there where above the railroad tracks. I don't know what that's called. I think it's Illinois or something still through there eventually. But as is, you know, when you get across here, you can take this here that takes you down and around this way. And I know that you can't see it, but there's a way to turn up here that last block before you turn on to go this direction. I just wanted to show you that everything is here. Now, when we come up here, this apartment complex up there is where Travis used to live. Let me give her some gas because I don't want to fall out of the sky. Now it doesn't put in it puts in like railroad tracks, but it doesn't put in the railroad bridge, so you won't see the bridge thing as we go over this. There's the Bend restaurant. I guess it's a tavern now, I guess, or whatever, because it's right there on the bend. Up here on the corner, you'll recognize the old 7-Eleven that's been there for years. There's a car lot across the street. That is Zips over on the right corner. As we come up here, we've got McDonald's coming up on our right now. These other buildings have all been taken out because of the new freeway coming in. I don't think there's any one of them left. This is that old antique shop that used to be on the corner. It was one of the first ones to go. And then there's that pub there on the corner. This is Euclid, I think it is, and Euclid, I think it is, and then and that's not Euclid, it was Empire, and that's Safeway. Let me get back over here. I only got a couple blocks to go. This is that storage place there on the left there. And as we come down here, the little triangle shaped thing there, that's the gas station there on the corner. This is the smoke shop here just below us. And that building there doesn't exist anymore. It's the old retirement home that used to be there as we're turning down Wellesley Avenue. I'll gain a little bit of altitude here. You'll be able to see a big white building starting to appear in the trees up there on our right-hand side. That is the Walgreens on Wellesley and Crestline. Across the street, you'll see the L-shaped building that is the laundromat that's been there for years. A building on the corner will be the Papa Murphy's, which is no longer there. This is also the fire station coming up on our left. But this is the Walgreens at Wellesley and Crestline, with the laundromat building there. Now, coming up here, we're going to see the tennis courts at Rogers High School, and then of course Rogers High School, and the playing field. And this is kind of where it starts to get a little wonky. We're going to start heading north. Now up here, on the other side of this school, is where I live. Now you'll see there's going to be a yellow house there that's plainly visible. That's not it, but it's one right behind all those trees next to it. So you can't really see it. So I'm going to pause it and see if I can get it in view if it's there. You really can't see it. It's this one right here, the one behind the trees, the yellow house right here. See, there's another one next to it, but this one here, that's mine. Live across the street from these annexes on the school. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, not back at the ranch, it should be back to the ranch. Now, as we come up on these cluster of buildings, that's Francis. You'll have the old Papa Murphy's on the corner, the new Papa Murphy's. What is that? National Car Rental or something like that? Car rental place. This is that little strip mall thing next to, before you go to Albertsons. It's got like a repair shop in it or something. This is the road that takes you back over to Albertsons over there. This is Nevada. Coming up here we have Zips on our right and the sports bar here on the left. These are repair shops here. They're here in towing. This is the old Fred Meyer's, which is now an RV place. So we are just crossing Addison. You can see the old ice arena there. Easily recognizable. So coming up here we have Dairy Gold. Those white things out there are actually pictures of their trucks taken at thousands of feet up in the sky. That would be Lowe's over there. We have Petco on the corner here, which takes you that way to get in through behind those two little restaurants to get into Lowe's. That's the way I go, at least. I don't know. That Petco or whatever is moved or something. Roger that frequency change.
Bell's Tower Whiskey Hotel, Echo, Echo, Zulu.
So we're headed down Francis still. And we are coming up on, I believe it's Wall. There's a Chevron or whatever it's Union 76 or whatever. This is the Safeway, and where it bends there is where I go to my occupational therapy. This is Monroe, crossing Monroe, headed down towards the one-ways. The 5 Mile Hill in the corner there on our right. Like I say, you know, they don't have like the exact building and stuff, but they do a very good representation. So that's Rosar's here, coming down to the one-ways. Now, if I look off to the left here, you'll see the parking lot area for the First Friends Church. It doesn't actually show the church. Some buildings, it doesn't draw them in, and so they end up being flat. Like you'll see this church is coming up here on the right. So I don't know if it's just churches or what, but this is like a big church, really cool looking and stuff, but apparently, I don't know. So we are still headed up Francis here. We're headed up Francis so that we can go down Francis. Right through here, we got Salk here, which is, I think it's a high school now. It used to be a junior high school. I always loved their playing field. I mean, who wouldn't want to play sports or whatever right next to the wood line? So cool. Chuck in Virginia used to live right in here on the right-hand side of one of those circle driveways, probably right about there. And this is Indian Canyon here. It goes out towards the dump area. You get a little bit of altitude. And over in this area is the Vets Hospital. Can't remember the name of the arena or whatever. Ball and Dodd Funeral Home. I'm going to get back underneath the wheel of this thing. Get my camera straight. But yeah, Joe Albi Stadium, that's one it is over there. So this camera is not right. It is wonky. That should have fixed it. I probably bumped it. Anyway, as we go down the rest of Francis Hill, now you'll see those cars on the road that aren't moving. Those are ones that were actually taken by the thing that took the photographs of the land, Google Maps. That's the Circle K there, where it's the last stop for you to get gas or whatever you need, something to drink. This is the old landfill over here on the right that is being, they're putting buildings on it and stuff. Over there you'll see a little bit of the Spokane River. I know, it's a long road, isn't it? That's why we gun it. I know what you're saying. I don't remember being this far up in the air when I went to Grandma's. This looks nothing like what I've seen. Okay, so up here everybody in the family at least knows we have to take a left. It's gonna take us, I think this is 7 Mile Road or whatever, but it takes us over the 7 Mile Bridge or whatever the hell it's called. Just trying to keep us airborne and slow enough that we can enjoy some of the scenery while keeping track of the road for the people that recognize the road. Now as we go across the bridge looks nothing like the actual bridge, but it's where it's supposed to be, and there's the old riding stable across there, the beautiful Spokane River. And we turn and we go up the hill. And then it'll go to the right, then the left, then the right. And up another hill. Of course, it'll be going up a hill all the way, but I mean, steeper hill. Quick look-see on the outside for the people that don't know our area. Up the next hill. Now, of course, this game doesn't do it justice, but I always loved this house right up here at the top of the hill. Really nice house. Now, right down here where the bridge is where the Indians used to run all the horses in there into Wild Horse Canyon. People in the family should recognize that rock formation, that rocky area. But that's Wild Horse Canyon there on our left. It's completely sand out there. You can even see where like people have been, you know, dirt biking and stuff like that out there. Let me turn my head a little bit. But the Indians would run them in there because the walls were steep enough and sandy enough that the horses were already tired and they'd just give up and get roped. And that's why it's called Wild Horse Canyon. Now somewhere out here, see, we're in the 4 Mile Prairie. Somewhere out here is 4 Indian chiefs that are buried. I don't know exactly where that is. I know there's members of the family that do. Right up here, just before the trees on our left-hand side, is where I learned where I played baseball. I played for the 4 Mile Gophers. There's a little, see that little darker area there? That actually dropped down about 3 feet. And if you're playing in the outfield on that side, you can't see the people. This is where it splits off. That's Inland Power and Light. I think everybody goes this way. Everybody in the family knows if you're gonna hit a deer along the way, it's usually right here. Now this game doesn't put in fences either, but it does look like they had bales of hay out in the field. But if you're going to hit a deer, it's usually they're crossing this field, this those trees in there to get out here in the field. And they're just dumb enough to do it. Now the whole family's going, oh yeah, I seen all kinds of deer coming through there. Yeah, yeah. And I really like this house up here. I always love how they always have like this, you know, it's all nice gravel and manicured and stuff. Now this game throws in way too many trees. But anyway, anybody in the family recognize that? And then of course on the other side of this place you got the old Larson place in the tree line there. I usually fly over it, but I find myself going way off the road, and I kind of want to keep you guys on the road because you guys remember the road. And you go, wow, that's the exact road in a video game. Those are the houses. That's the landscape. Those are the trees, except there's too many of them and way too tall. And I can't fix it. I tried, I bought this mod pack, and I could make the trees shorter, that's why I did it. But it changed that you had to go by seasons, and all of the seasons had the wrong trees. There's no pine trees. And it kept changing these things to like fluffy conifers and stuff. I'm like, no, 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 no. I need my pine trees back. Now years ago when they made this, it didn't have these three houses that are over here, and they're just taken from like satellite view. So those are actually houses. You can see cars there and stuff. I've lost the road. Probably lost it way back there. I'm going to take it. It's down below me here. There it is. Sorry, guys. I'm not going to redo it. It happens every time I try to show somebody something. It's like, oh, I'm way off now. But anyway, this is that stretch out here where that guy at one time, I don't know if it's still there or not, had built a house underground, like right out here off to our left, right in there. Don't know if it's still there or whatnot. Then we got these buildings here, and the ones on the right, which is the road that takes you up to Uncle Floyd's. See, I got off the stick fast enough that I could get back on the road. Because one of my favorite buildings is coming up, and that's that old shed. I knew we were getting close to Grandma's, that old shed right there. Yeah, we got one more little corner there before we get to where we can see the Grange Hall. Oh, you can see it in the distance there. No, I was hoping I could get a better view, but I can't. There we have the Grange Hall. And on the way up here, I'm not going to try to get to where you can see them, but there's those two houses here on the right-hand side, down in those trees, where I always wonder how the hell they get their vehicles out of there in the wintertime. You can see one of them there off to the right, and you'll probably see the other one too, but I'm not going to lose sight of the road, because every time I try to get a good look at them, I always lose sight of the road. Yeah, I kind of muffed that one. But anyway, you know where we're at. We're above the hill here, coming out onto the plains. Again, too many trees, but, you know, it does peter out to where it's, you know, more of the wheat fields and stuff, which is correct. I mean, you know, we got trees, but not this many and that big. This is a long stretch down Cooley Height. Again, this is where people gun it, gun it, gun it. All good hunting land over there. Always love this house up here. But again, they saturated it with trees, big trees. Okay, this is Ritchie Road here. And you can see this big giant clump of trees up here. That's the other house I like, but it should never be in that many trees. That's ridiculous. It kind of is and kind of ain't. But when you saw this house, you knew you were close to Grandma's. All right, coming up on Wood Road. See if anybody in the family recognizes that. Come up down here a little ways and turn around. Come up Wood Road. Now you'll notice this little clump of trees here and a little road that goes off and splits between these two fields. Well, the people in the family know that this leads back to our family cemetery, which is also in the game because it's in the world. Oh, sorry. I always fly out to the cemetery when I come out and do this flight to Grandma's. I don't think there's ever been a time when I didn't fly to the cemetery first. Sometimes on the way out. But I'm not planning on doing a flight out. I figure nobody's going to be interested in just flying back down the same road. Just so I could show you Shadle Shopping Center and how close it is, and Shadle High School and all that, but just know that it looks good. Now, up in the field here on the right, you'll see that dark spot out there. That's that little spot where there's usually a stump there that I thought it looked like a guy holding a pistol. So we call it the man with the gun. Hey, there's a man with a gun. And it was a stump. That's where it's at, right there. A little bit of a mound. As we come up here, you'll see there's a road going off to the left. That's the one that goes over to Horseshoe Lake. I don't know what it's called. I know my sister Becky knows what it's called. That's the road that goes over to Horseshoe Lake. And as we come up through here, just over this little hump here, this corner, that's Jeanette's Lake. And it's because that was the smallest lake around here and would freeze first. And she used to love to ice skate, so that was the first lake. That was Jeanette's Lake. For the people that don't know, this is where we would hunt all the time. That area all over here and all over here. This It's my grandma's place. The pond, you can see the road coming in. I'm going to flip this thing around here. See if I can get a decent view. That's Davis Lake over there. We knew it as Cox's Swamp. The old man Cox probably died, and it was probably willed to his daughter, and she's probably at Davis. Just my thought. I have no idea. I think I'm going to bring it over this way a little. I'm going to pause that. Okay, and like I said, there's a wood road comes down here. The path that comes in there, or to the house. Great grandma's house, even got a little Delca house on the back. This is grandma's garage, even though it looks like a little house. I think that's a chicken coop, I'm not sure. Now behind here you can't see it, there's like an L-shaped building. That would be the old horse barn, even though they have it in blue, which is not correct. You'll be able to slightly see where it goes down here. That's the old barn there. And then that's the hay barn. Like I say, now the hay barn is a yellow building because the game doesn't do pole buildings. And it probably had hay in it. So when it took the picture, which may have been from the side, got an angle with the yellowish color, and it came out that color, which is perfect. This is Grandpa's shop here with that little building on the side. That's the old seed shed there. This is the equipment barn. This is where the old Winnebago was and stuff. We had big diesel and gas cans on the side here that filled everything up. And then all the little roads and paths that went down to the lake. Now, my real reason for that second pass there was so I could just skip into the across the field here and show off the North Woods, which if you were going to get a big buck, it probably came out of the North Woods. But again, the North Woods isn't what we're here to see. We're here to look at Grandma and Grandpa's lake. Woods Lake. It should be Thistle Lake, even though it's not. I don't think that's supposed to be that wide open. It's usually covered in bushes and shit. And this is, like I said, is the road that takes you over here to Horseshoe Lake. I remember one summer fishing this area over here. Me and Scott were trying to get across over through here, and this was just so full of lily pads. It was ridiculous. And then we got to the other side over here, couldn't catch no fish either. It was just garbage. Well, I guess Davis Lake would probably cry if I didn't come over and at least say hi. Now, the first house I remember living in is down the road there. You can probably see it just barely on the road there. We had an outhouse. We didn't have plumbing. We had a well that you pumped it up to the kitchen sink. Of course, we didn't have a bathroom because we had the outhouse, so we all washed in a big metal tub. Took our turns. My mama had 6 kids, so it was always busy. Our heat and cooking was all done on a cast iron stove, and our first phone was on the wall, like those old time movies. It was on the wall, and you had to crank it up. It was like a wooden thing on the wall. It had like a bell-shaped thing. Let me pause this again. Take another look at down there, see if we get a better view. But had one of them like bell-shaped things that you're talking to, and a bell-shaped thing you stick on your ear, and then a crank on the side, because we didn't have dials and stuff back then. And now they did in the city, but out here we didn't. And that was before we even had like party lines and all that. But you would crank it, and it would like wake up the operator in Reardon at the switchboard, and you tell her what number you wanted to get connected to, and then she would plug you in, and you'd get, that phone would ring. But that was our life. So here we are again, like I say, coming in off of Wood Road here, coming in the driveway. There's the pond, great-grandma's house, the Delco house, garage. I believe that's a chicken coop. That's the old horse barn. The old barn, hay barn. Go down the hill here to Grandpa's shop. The seed building and the outbuilding, and of course that beautiful lake down there. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with the family. I thought some of them would probably think that was pretty neat. They're not the exact buildings, but they are in the same size and the exact same spot. I love that when I look out here at the hills in the background, I recognize them. Now, I think the land is currently owned by these people over here on our left, but I'm not positive. I'm not sure if it's one building or the other or whatever and stuff. And of course, they're welcome to it because they bought it fair and square. But if I ever won the lottery, I would offer them an ungodly amount of money. All those marks in the land out there is where actual trees would be, and those are the shadows. Because this normally is a Bing map thing, so the ground would be Bing map, but it's not nearly as good as it is with Google, and I have it all switched over, so I get much better graphics on the ground. That's why the roads actually look like paved roads with lines and stuff. If I use the default that comes with the game, they look like dirt roads. Even the freeways look like dirt roads. And I don't want to play that. I want everything to look cool, so I use Google Maps instead of Bing. Should be nice if this thing touched the ground here pretty soon. I'm going to have to get on the brakes. Like really hard. So we're coming in towards the barnyard up here. Coming in between Grandpa's his shop and towards the house would be behind them trees. That's the barn area there that's coming down from the barnyard area. Last time I came up through here, I tried to go between the trees over by the garage by great grandma's, but I got hung up on the thing. Now this blue building here, it's just supposed to represent the horse barn, which we know is an old dilapidated building. So I'm going to try to go around the trees on this side and see if I can't park like in the driveway. But last time I tried to go, not through the trees there. Here, let me move my cursor. I tried to go through the trees here, and I got hung up on the garage. And then I couldn't go anymore because my wing was wrapped around the garage. So we're going to try not to hit anything through here because I do have like a 36 or a 30-inch wingspan. Or 30 foot, excuse me, not 30 inch. That's the pond. We're going to try to park this thing over by between Grandma's and Great-Grandma's house just like we always do. Like I said, of course, it don't look like Grandma's house, but it is her double wide. This is exactly where it would be sitting. That is exactly where Great-Grandma's house would be in conjunction to this. And in conjunction to the garage, which, of course, looks like a little house. But they are very good representations because they sit and are the same size as the buildings we're used to seeing. Delco house in the back there. People that don't know, that's where the freezer is and stuff. It's back there. And cold storage, so if they were storing a bunch of apples or something, they'd be out there. There's the pond. I used to have a little boat that I'd keep in there. Should be, now they don't do fences, or there'd be a fence along here, and right here at the corner, right here would be a big burn barrel. We'd stop in here and all us kids would pile out of Mom's station wagon and go running over to Great-Grandma's house over here. And more than likely she had some freshly baked peanut butter cookies or sugar cookies. And more than likely it was sugar cookies because that's what she made the most, I think. But anyway, I hope the family enjoyed this. I mean, you would never think you'd see something like that in a video game. And I can fly anywhere in the world. Seamless, and follow the roads, and if you know that road and you recognize the buildings and you can make out like what it is even though it's not the same, like you say, I know that shopping center, I know that that's this building or that building, you'll be fine. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Okay, I thought I was done with the video, but I came back to the main menu, and then I forgot that I wanted to say something else, and that is that although these aren't, true representations of exactly the right house and stuff, I do have areas where you pay for certain scenery and stuff, and it is the exact buildings and whatnot. It's called photogrammetry. I have that in the Seattle area. I have like Paris. I have Las Vegas, but I think that's a different pack. But London, I've got Moscow, Chicago. I mean, there's a lot of places and stuff. So when I fly over the Seattle area, it's using, if I have enough bandwidth at least, it's using the photogrammetry. And where it's done like all over the place or whatever, and they use all those pictures and put it all together, and it is Seattle. Or London, or wherever. But anyway, that's it. Again, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you.